In this video, I show you how to play tasty blues licks in DADGAD tuning. These licks are easy to play and sound awesome. Better yet, I'm going to show you how to play these licks in DADGAD and provide the backing for the licks at the same time on one guitar. Hi, this is Simon Candy from Acoustic Guitar Lessons Online.net, and the tuning of DADGAD is a beautiful tuning for acoustic guitar, producing lush sounding chords and melodies. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play tasty blues licks in DADGAD tuning. We will first learn the DADGAD Blues Scale, which is super easy to play, before looking at several licks that come from this scale. I will then show you very simple ways to provide both the solo parts made up of these DADGAD licks and the chords that back them at the same time on one guitar. Watch until the end of this video for a special resource I've created for you to go deeper into the tuning of DADGAD. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's begin with the DADGAD Blues Scale, and it's really simple. The blues scale starts on the low string, so of course we're tuned to DADGAD here. Okay, so make sure you are tuned to DADGAD, D, A, D, G, A, D, of course, DADGAD. Okay, and the blues scale is super simple. It's going to be the open bottom string and the third fret, open fifth, third fret, open fourth, third fret, open third, first fret, and then back to open second, third, open first, third. So every string is open and third fret, except for the third string, which is open and first fret. And coming back. That's the DADGAD Blues Scale. Super simple. And that's the scale where our riffs will be coming from. And the first riff I'm going to show you is this one. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through 5 riffs here, and then I'm going to show you how you can apply them to a musical context. And of course there's many ways that you could do that, but I'm going to show you how you can do it all yourself, providing the accompaniment and the riffs. Okay, but of course you could have a blues backing track, and the backing track can be in standard tuning, that doesn't matter, as long as it's D, and these licks will work fantastic as well. So the first riff goes like this. Okay, and it's really nothing more than just coming down the scale and resolving to the open fourth string. So I'm thinking like 8th notes there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and I'm putting a little bit of a quarter step bend, which is just a minimal bend on the first note and the second last note here. Very subtle, just a slight little what we call a quarter step bend. Okay, very minimal bend in terms of the distance you're bending the note. On the first string I'm pushing towards the ceiling because it's on a higher string with the bend, and on the fourth string pulling it down towards the floor because it's on one of the bass strings with the bend. The other feature of that riff is the blues note. The blues note itself is this one right here. Okay. Okay, so that's our first riff. Really cool blues riff in DADGAD tuning. The second riff goes like this. Okay, and again. Okay, this one has very much a triplet feel to it. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, and then on the last beat 4 and. Okay, 8th notes on the last beat. So we're sliding. Now it may appear that we're adding a note to our scale here when we slide to the second fret. However, it's just the same note as the open second string, which is in the scale, right? But because I want to slide to it, I'm playing the fretted version, not the open version of that note. Okay, so it's still in our scale. It's not an added note as such. It's just playing it as its fretted version, if you like. Okay. And we've got a little grace note slide, a quick slide from 1 to 2, and then back to 2 to 1 and a pull off, and then the hammer on, and then we resolve it down to the open D with this little quarter step bend coming in again, like the first riff. Okay, and in fact it's the same note we're doing the quarter bend on, but it's an octave lower. Here we were finishing the first riff here, this one finishes down on the lower string, the lower octave. So once more that riff. Okay, the third riff here more triplets here, more quarter bends. Okay, these are all very similar riffs coming from the same scale in that bluesy, you know, sound, if you like. So triplets, quarter step, slide, and again finishing with eighth notes, but this time back up the octave with that quarter step bend on the F, resolving then to the D. Okay, one more on that riff. Okay, this next riff is sort of around the mid-range of the scale. It goes like this. Okay. So again, it's, you know, a lot of open strings. We're in an open position, so these are really nice, simple riffs. It's got a little bit of a triplet on the third beat, otherwise eighth notes, and again, resolving down to this quarter step bend into the root D. Okay, so once more. And the fifth and final riff I'm going to show you here, classic little blues riff here with the double stop slide. That's that riff, number 5. And for once, not finishing on the quarter step bend on the 3rd fret and the open D. As cool as that sounds, we don't always have to do that, of course. Okay, so that's the 3rd riff. Little double stop triplets, sort of punctuated or accented with the slide on the beat, and then triplet fill still with the pull off and hammer-ons, and then there's the end of the riff right there. Cool riff. So they're the 5 riffs. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of practice these and put them into a musical context, of course, but the first thing is to work with them in isolation and get them into your fingers. You'll see they're all variations of each other really, which is what we want. We don't want to try and come up with totally unrelated sounding riffs. Okay, so they're all coming from the same sound, the blues scale, you know, all out of this scale, so they're going to be variations of each other, and I'm sure working with these you'll come up with your own as well. Okay, so once you've got those licks under your fingers, even just a little bit, you don't have to get them perfectly memorized or, you know, be able to switch from every possible combination or anything like that. But once you're familiar with them, the next step is to create, you know, other riffs from them, essentially by taking bits and pieces of the riffs and putting them together to create new riffs, so variations. But what we're going to do here is we're also going to start to bring in some accompaniment, meaning we can play our riffs, but we can also play the backing for those riffs. So these riffs, you could just get a backing track, you know, on YouTube or whatever, and, you know, in D, a D blues, and it doesn't matter if the track's in standard tuning, that's fine, as long as it's a D blues, and you could play your licks over the top and they would sound fantastic. So do that for sure. But in this lesson, I want to show you how you can provide the backing as well yourself. And it's really simple. If we're just, first we'll just look at it a little bit more close up here. We'll zoom in a bit and we'll just look at playing it over a D tonality. So of course in DADGAD tuning we've got a low D. So I can use that low D as my backing and then I can play my riffs. So I might do something like this. Okay, it's really simple and quite subtle, but it provides the backing for the riff just simply by playing a low E string, then I play a little fragment of a riff, then I hit it again, and then played another little riff. And these, whilst together that riff is a bit different to what I was showing you before, this part is really coming from the first riff, and this is part of the second riff, and together we create a new riff, only with the backing of the D. Okay, or maybe something like this. Okay, so here I've got the low D, this little slide across again, which is coming from the second riff, and then this little bend up and the open first string, which comes from the third riff, I think it was. But the point is, you're mixing and matching, you're grabbing little bits from here and there and creating a new riff. That's what you want to do. And we're just simply playing it across the drone of the low D to provide some backing for our riff so it sounds more complete. Here's another example. Okay, bit of a call and response thing going on here. Okay, so that's coming sort of, again, little fragments of the riffs I was just showing you. Triplets, that's like partly sort of part of riff 4 there, but again, you know, it's not exactly coming out of the riff. Again, you'll find you'll be able to do all sorts of variations as you get more comfortable with the sound and the riffs that I've given you to begin with. But again, this one's played across the D, and it's like the call and a response to that riff. Again, just other examples. Okay, that's similar to that was like similar to parts of the second and third riffs there. Mainly the second riff actually. And again with this low D, all you have to do is really play it twice and then let the riff ring out, or let the drone of that string ring out while you play the riff. Okay, or perhaps grabbing elements of the fifth riff with this little double stop slide, we could do something like. And again, a little bit of a call and response that you typically get in a blues. You got the call and the response. Okay, so there are some ideas for you to work with, both in grabbing bits and pieces of the riffs that you've been shown, that I've shown you here, and creating new riffs. And you can do, it's basically endless what you can do even with what I've just shown you there. Okay, so now let's zoom out a little bit and put these riffs into a little bit more of a context other than just a static chord like we were doing before with the D. This is going to be our progression. We're going to have 4 bars of D, and I'm going to imply the D chord again with the drone of the low D string. Then we're going to have 1 bar of G, which I'll imply with a simple G note on string 6. Now that's going to be at the 5th fret because we're in DADGAD tuning with our low D here. And we're going to have 1 bar of an F chord implied by the root note F. Now in addition to the G and the F, when we get to those parts of the progression, we're going to have a little stock sort of thing that we do. And it's going to be this. Okay, just sort of filling it out a little bit. We've got the G, because this is really a G7 chord there with the F on the top. You could think of it like that. And a little bit of a picking arrangement there. This F, what is now an F, you can be formed with almost like a G open chord shape without the first finger. That's what we're playing there. And we've got like, now I'm thinking in DADGAD here, so that top note is an F, so is the low note. This note here, A, is a C. So we've got an F chord there, which is what we want. And we've just got a little bit of a rhythmic thing going. Okay, but that's what we're going to do each time we get to the bar of G and bar of F. When we're on the D, which is 4 bars, we're going to play our ideas, mix and match our ideas from the previous section. So for example, I could be on my D and I might play this first riff we had in the previous section, or something very similar to it. And then again, to fill out 4 bars, to G, F, and then back to the D, and we'd be back at the start of the cycle again, and we could repeat the same idea or put in some other idea. That's the basic setup there, and you get a nice 6-bar chord progression that loops around, and the opportunity to mix and match your DADGAD riffs. So I could perhaps play the third riff that we have from the previous section against the drone of the D this time. I'm playing each riff twice because I need to fill out 4 bars. So this example here, using the third riff. And again. To the G. So we could do that, or we could play the fifth one, or you could come up with your own, which would be the idea, of course. But that's the little template, or the little blueprint, if you like. The 4 bars of D, 1 bar of F, or 1 bar of G, sorry, then 1 bar of F. So, you know, something like this perhaps. If you like this video on blues licks in DADGAD tuning, then you'll love this ebook I've created for you called The Acoustic Guitarist's Guide to DADGAD Tuning. In this ebook, you will learn more about DADGAD tuning and what it can bring to your guitar playing, including beautiful sounding DADGAD chords and melodies, plus more ways to play the blues in this tuning, in addition to the licks that we've been looking at in today's lesson. So click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook audio, The Acoustic Guitarist's Guide to DADGAD Tuning. Let me know in the comments section what guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I'm going to be making plenty of videos, so leave your suggestions, let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll look forward to checking those out. If you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I've released a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. Thanks for watching this video. As always, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.